After cosplaying as post-accident Alex Mack all summer long, I'm finding myself hard-pressed to pry myself off the couch lately. And considering how outrageously hot it was last year here in Los Angeles, and probably this year too, I don't see myself leaving the house anytime soon. So in order to properly enjoy the great indoors this fall, I've prepared a guide to all the best new upcoming anime series that you need to put into your eyeballs. So feast your eyes on this veritable cornucopia of awesome anime on the Dan Cave's annual Fall Anime Guide. That time I got reincarnated as a slime monster. Yes, that's the real title. Gregor Samsa doesn't have squat on this guy. Haha. Satoru Mikami was a lonely 37-year-old man working a dead-end job until he was finally put out of his misery by a robber, which sounds pretty dark. Except rather than waking up in the afterlife, he woke up in a strange fantasy realm as a slime monster. Armed with two powerful abilities, one that lets him steal an opponent's powers, and another that gives him near infinite knowledge of the rules of this new universe, old Slime Boy soon finds himself on a track to become the king of the monsters. All in all, it actually makes a pretty bleak case for reincarnation, but also a pretty awesome idea for an anime. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. Truly one of the most bonkers TV shows in human history, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is coming back for another glorious, dangerously weird installment. The 5th manga arc, Golden Wind, is the next to receive an anime adaptation and tells the story of Giorno Giovanna, aka Gio Gio, the Italian equivalent of JoJo, as he attempts to overthrow the local mafia boss to turn the organized crime family into this Robin Hood-like band of thieves that steals from the rich to give to the poor of Italy. And if you ask me, this is DiGiorno for me because unlike that frozen-ass pizza, this one delivers on every possible level. Hina My Resume. Ever since binging Megalobox on a transatlantic flight, I've been craving an epic new sports anime on a cellular level. My body has a biological imperative to be inspired by burning spirits, epic competition, and overwrought inner monologue set against the backdrop of a competitive sport. And it seems I might have exactly what I need in the form of Hina My Resume, a series about a small student named Ushio Hinamaru who makes it his mission to ascend to the highest echelon of sumo wrestling. And the best part? For a true 4DX experience, you can watch this while eating your body weight and sweet, delicious rice gruel. Yum yum for the tum-tum. Who doesn't love rice gruel? Rice gruel! The space between the sky and the sea. Set in the far-flung future, Sora to Umi no Ida takes place in a world where all the Earth's fish have seemingly disappeared, leaving only whales to roam the ocean's depths, those big blubbery idiots. To combat this mass extinction level event, the Ministry of Fishery sets up a massive universe fish tank in space, giving rise to a new industry of space fishermen. At the center of our story are a group of 6 young women who are training to become space fishermen themselves, who set out to capture not just space salmon, but quote, God-eating monsters that leave fish vulnerable, as well as enemies which they encounter, end quote. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like the deadliest catch yet, and I am here for it, especially if it involves space crabs. Fooly Cooly Alternative. Now look, do I really need to tell you to watch new Fooly Cooly? Because I shouldn't, and honestly, if Jessica Chobot knew I had to tell you this, she would be extremely disappointed, and trust me, you don't want to see her disappointed face. It is withering. It's just like, you just want to die. Now, despite what the trailer might have you believe, it's so much more than 24/7 lo-fi hip-hop radio beats to relax/study to, the anime. A 6-episode sequel to both Fooly Cooly and Fooly Cooly Progressive, Alternative centers on 17-year-old Kana, a high school junior who would just rather while away the day with her best friends than go on some sort of universe-altering adventure. But all of that changes when a giant mecha and a pink-haired weirdo named Haruko fall from the sky. To make matters worse for Kana and her pals, Haruko has big plans for them, which involve taking on this massive phoenix-like being whose energy Haruko wants to drain, like me, at an all-you-can-sip Capri Sun buffet. Wait, does that sound like the Capri Suns are gonna drink me? You guys know what I mean. Or do you? Either way, I gotta get out of here. As Miss Beelzebub likes. That's how I write that in my head. As Miss Beelzebub likes. Have you ever busted your hump to get the job of your dreams only to find out that it isn't exactly what you'd been hoping for? Well, that's exactly the case for Murin, a young man who finally lands a job working for the legendary Demon King Beelzebub, the right hand of Satan himself, except this Demon King isn't what he expected at all. For starters, she's a demon queen, and she's less concerned with torturing the damned for all eternity than her all-consuming passion for everything cute and fluffy. Which, depending on who you are, could be its own unique kind of hell. I'm talking about Kyle Hill, if that's not blatantly obvious. Ulysses, Jeanne d'Arc, and the Alchemy Knights. It's gonna be a long time until we get more Game of Thrones in our lives, so why not scratch that fantasy itch in the meantime with a wild-looking show about a group of alchemist knights in 15th century France. Set smack dab in the middle of the 100 Years' War, Ulysses tells the story of Montmorency, the son of a French nobleman studying magic and alchemy at a school for knights, who finds himself on the run after that school is shuttered in the wake of France's defeat at Agincourt. During his travels, he meets a mysterious girl named Jeanne, and some of the most impractical armor ever illustrated along with her. I mean, seriously, what could the AC on this possibly be? What are you defending against there? I mean, it was pretty warm in France when I was there, but come on! Goblin Slayer. If you like your coffee like you like your fantasy, full of dead goblins, then you're in luck. Goblin Slayer tells the story of a young priestess setting out on her very first adventure. However, she and her friends quickly find themselves in well over their heads. But who should come to their rescue but a mysterious man known as the Goblin Slayer, who, as his name suggests, has dedicated his life to murdering every last goblin in the land. Now, of course, after killing a certain amount of goblins, one begins to develop a certain reputation, and who's to say what types of people or monsters could come calling. Hopefully not from Critical Role, because I'm pretty sure she's about 5 levels too low to take on this dude as he is now. And those are some of the best new anime series you need to watch this fall. But tell me, which upcoming anime are you most excited for? What would you add to this list? Let me know in the comments below and give me the most animated thumbs up of 2018 while you're there. Now be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, or else you might miss out on next week's episode about a woman who tries to discover the identity of her biological father by inviting 3 suspects to her wedding, only to get caught up in a deadly game of cat and mouse with 2 undercover cops and a weapons trafficker in Mama Miami Vice. Until next time, keep on digging. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At Lost the Numbers asks, who would win in a fight? Spotted Seal from My Hero Academia or a leopard seal? That's a great question, Lee. It's something I've wondered often myself since I first witnessed the beefy sea captain make his auspicious debut in Season 2 of My Hero Academia, but I'm gonna have to give the edge to an actual leopard seal here. While Spotted Seal has a quirk that basically lets him do whatever a seal can, leopard seals are not only actually cute, something that Spotted Seal wishes he was, but they're also deadly as hell. Just do a quick Google search of leopard seals. It'll turn up countless lists of surprisingly cute animals that could kill you. Seriously, they glurp penguins like they're fucking fruit snacks or something. So I think it's best to assume that these unrelenting chomp beasts that we call leopard seals would have the edge over this hero and his pesky moral code. So, in the end, leopard seals all day, baby. But tell me, who do you think would win this fight? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time!